I would like to invite you to orient in the space. So I would like for you to turn your head to one side and to another side physically, and notice what you are seeing. Maybe the color of the walls, the height of the ceiling, what is on the walls, the furniture, and specifically look behind you just to make sure that there is no tiger.
Does a stuffed polar bear count?
I was specifically hoping that there was no polar bear.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to send him out of the room.
If your nervous system is okay with a polar bear.
Oh, he's very cute and he's very cuddly, so we're good.
That's fine. So let's take a deep breath and breathe out with a sigh. And let's do 2 more of these. And last one. Welcome. Jesus, do you want to do the intro round?
The intro round. Yes, I mean, let's make it straightforward. We know, some of us, we know each other, but it would be good for the rest to say your name and where are you calling from. Whoever wants to start, I will start, but then after me, whoever wants to. I am Jesus Acosta, and I am calling from the United Kingdom.
I'm Cher Marie, and I am calling from Canada. The one with no face and is named Fletcher's phone.
We'll figure it out. Thank you, Cher. Welcome.
You're actually calling from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, we go.
There we go.
Oh, we're getting detailed. Okay. Yes.
I'm
in the same community as Aiden. And maybe Aiden, you can help me figure out next time how to get all this stuff on.
Yeah, well, I was having trouble today too. Whatever. Anyway, that's what took me an extra 5 minutes. Aiden from friend of theirs.
Thank you, Aiden.
Hi, I'm Roy, and today I will mostly be dialing in from the southwest of England in Devon.
Thank you, Roy.
I'm Judith, and I'm calling from Berlin.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. I'm Alla, and I'm calling in from Berlin as well. And I would like to introduce our guest, who is Silas. And
hi, everyone.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from Chile.
We have
Valparaíso. Valparaíso, Chile.
Oh, that's amazing. We have the whole world here. Next time for someone from Australia. So thank you so much for your voices. Today, the topic is the embrace and what it means to us. And the inspiration for this topic was my conversation with Silas. Sometimes we met in 2024, yes, in Mendoza. at a tango festival. And sometimes we talk, and on Instagram we start chatting. And we talked again about how sometimes it happens that a tanda or an embrace or a connection is magical, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And I think in this particular call, I'm also interested to find out what your perspective is. Maybe somebody has figured it out, when it happens and when it doesn't happen, and what are the parts that lead to this. And the I'm feeling a little bit nervous and a little shy, because the experience of magic feels so intimate and vulnerable to share, and it's almost like a part of me wants to hide. And yet I feel like that I want to share this because I also want to hear about experiences like that. I still remember when in Mendoza, I was, I think Silas was sitting at a table in the corner, and I was looking at him, and sometimes, I don't know whether you know how it happens for you, but for me, it's like, I really want to dance with this person, and I don't know why. It's not that I have a particular picture or particular, I'm not necessarily watching people and then decide, oh, he's a good dancer, I want to dance with him. But sometimes it's like it's a feeling from inside. And I think it's been a couple days that I was kind of like, I think I would really like to dance with him. And again, my particular take on my desires is, don't even think about it. He's not gonna want to dance with you, you're gonna be disappointed, so don't even dare. And yeah, so I don't even know kind of how it happened, but then we danced, and it was like a little bit of a shock. It was like, what is this? And I think we didn't talk about it, but then we danced again, and then we danced. The festival was over, and there was a milonga. And Mendoza is not a big tango city. There was a milonga that was tiny, especially after the festival. It wasn't very enticing, let's say, but there were a few people who decided to go. And I remember Silas and we went. And are you going? Yeah. Are you going? Yeah. And it was also like messages. Are you really still going? Yeah. And are you still really going? And then we went to this tiny restaurant with a tiny dance floor with a lot of festival people. And I remember when they we danced a couple times, and I remember they played the last tanda, and we were like, "This is the last tanda." It was, yeah, it was a weird feeling of yeah, I don't even know whether I've ever felt this in terms of, because the distances are so huge. Like, it's not, oh, we are in Berlin and we can go to the next milonga. It's like the festival is over. You're going to your country, I'm going to my country, and we might never see each other again. And it was a feeling of, it was, yeah, like grief or something. And while I'm talking about it, I also think that it's interesting to mention that I think oftentimes what, I don't want to generalize, for me, the question is often, is it something personal, or like, am I falling in love, or is it like is it yeah, like a relational, or is it about tango? And I think it was very interesting, and maybe a sign for me, a sign of a certain maturity in tango, to realize that I'm not mixing the two. It was like an interesting to make this distinction as well. Yeah, and it's still very yeah, I'm still feeling nervous talking about it, a little bit anxious, inviting Silas to tell his side of the story before we open the conversation.
The side of this story in Mendoza?
Maybe, or if you want to talk about Embrace, but maybe this side of the story, or
Yep.
and then whatever you want.
Well, hi everybody. First of all, I'm gonna try to speak in English the most I can, but my English is not the best. I have very few opportunities to speak in English, so sometimes I will speak in Spanish. Okay. Well, this story with Alla in Mendoza was one of my treasures in the tango. Sometimes to my students, I talk about this story, and I talk about Alla, and I say, sometimes very few times in this tango life, in this milonga life, it's maybe we can have this lucky to find this connection. This is, I think, in my milonga life, I think I can count with my one hand. But it worth it. Lo vale. Buscar esto. To look in this, to look this. Buscar esto. ¿Cómo buscar?
Yeah, to look for it.
look for it. Yes, it's worth it. And yes, was very important to me that special day. I think was maybe a revelation to what embrace mean. Yeah, I think that is my side.
And what would you say, like, because we dance tango all the time, we cannot just pick
Yeah.
embraces. What would you say, what are the details of an embrace? Like, what are the parts of an embrace? And obviously, if everything comes together, then it's magic. But if, like, what are still the parts of an embrace for you? Being a teacher and a dancer, and like teaching people the embrace and experiencing it yourself too.
Yeah, for me, the first and the most important part for a embrace is the disposition that I have when I will dance with someone. Es mi disposición, especialmente mi disposición mental, my mental disposition, my emotional disposition too. Un ejemplo concreto, for an example, Tanturi Campos. I love Tanturi Campos. It's one of my favorite orchestra and singer. And for me, Tanturi Campos is here in Spanish. Jesús tal vez conozca esta palabra. We said apapachar.
Ah, oh, how you translate that? Oh my God.
Apapachar, la definición de apapachar, the definition of apapachar. Well, apapachar is a word from Quechua, for Quechua, de los indígenas de la cordillera. ¿Puedes traducir eso, esa parte? Es una...
Yeah, what Silas is saying is the apapachar, that word comes from indigenous community, and it means basically
abrazar con el alma.
Oh yes, that's a very beautiful definition. Is to hug with all your soul.
Oh, beautiful.
And when I dance or when I hear tango, Tanturi Campos, always this feeling me inunda, to want embrace someone, everyone.
This feeling it feels me completely.
So cuando voy a bailar, when I'm going to dance with someone and Tanturi Campos is sounding, this is my disposition to embrace this person in front of me with my soul, and in that feeling, it's impossible for the body to have tension or to do this position of tango, rigid tango or perfect tango. I don't think about it. I just try to feel this and to embrace the person with this emotion inside me. And I think it's very natural. I no me pregunto. I don't ask myself, how can I do this? It's just to feel that, and my body reacts to do and do what what I feel, just like that. But for that, it's very, very important to hear the music, to interpret,
yeah,
the song, and we must to develop sensibility too. Sometimes we don't have too much. Maybe some people have. It is easy to someone to have this sensibility with the music or with the context, but I think everyone is capable to do this. We are human. We're all human. So yes.
So what would you, when you teach your students, I'm sure you have beginners as well. How do you teach the embrace? Like, do you say anything specific, or do you just let them do it and then figure it out by themselves, maybe?
Bueno, hay tiempo para todo. There's time for everything. Some classes I teach this. I try to they can relax and embrace with no special condition, just to look in, embrace the partner. But it's important too, very important at some point that they have technique to talk about technique, because it's necessary too. But I am a believer that what I said recently, my body reacts, mi cuerpo reacciona a mi disposición interna.
My body reacts according to my internal disposition.
Sí, así que trato de enseñar algunas clases algo técnico, donde tienen que concentrarse en el cuerpo, en una parte, en la postura, en estar erguidos, pero en ocasiones vuelvo a que se relajen y simplemente busquen dentro de sí lo que sienten.
I try to teach techniques, posture, and yeah, of course, but many times I come back to just for them to relax and feel what they have inside.
Beautiful. Is there anything else you would like to share about the embrace, regarding embrace, before we open the conversation?
No, creo que es un resumen. Un resumen de lo que ya dije sería: todos tenemos la capacidad de encontrar esto.
We all have the capacity to find this.
Claro, somos humanos. We are human. We are humans. All we have emotions. All we have the same, in general, the same body. And yes, it's important the disposition to embrace. We must want to embrace other. I think that is the first step. Embrace and abrazar y dejar abrazarse también.
Yeah, to embrace someone and let yourself to be embraced by someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you, Silas. First thing is, I know Jesus has a couple questions. And if anyone has something burning right now that they want to share, you're welcome to unmute yourself and share with us if anything came up during the conversation. I'm sorry, I don't want to pick on Roy, but I feel like I can see thoughts. Yeah,
How do I unmute?
Share, we can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. I was just going to say, Alla, I'm really impressed that I can relate to what you said about the vulnerability of opening up and having that magical feeling. Because for me, the tango embrace is both emotional and technical. And that's really the heart of the dance, where the energy between the partners flow. That embrace becomes the way that we communicate. So for me, I know I need it to be comfortable. I need to feel safe. I need to feel secure. And a little bit of tension will help give that clear connection. And I feel like we're communicating without words through our body awareness and our touch. It's also dynamic when you're moving between open and closed as the dance changes. But at the core, for me, I feel it asks for trust and a bit of vulnerability. And sometimes that shared connection can say more than words ever could. And I have a line, actually, if I was on camera, I'd show you the book, but there's a book by Demetrius Bronowski called Hug and Let Go. It's Poems of Argentina. And there's a line in his book that I really love. His book is called Hug and Let Go. And that for me is also part of the embrace, because sometimes you can get mixed up with your emotions and it's hard to distill what's going on. But for me, when I read this one line, he wrote, we told each other a story with nothing but breath and weight and rhythm. And to me, that's exactly what embrace feels like.
So beautiful. Thank you, Cher. Yes. Aiden?
Hi, can I be heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how to unmute. I have to leave at 12, actually, so I'll maybe say a few things. But we talked about this last night, actually, and one of the teachers, who's a young woman, and talked about shared about her vulnerability and her need for safety, or the feeling of safety in an embrace. And you know, it's so interesting because, really, it's, it's just a dance, and it's kind of the same for everybody. The structure, nothing really, for the most part, there's nothing really crazy that goes on. But there's an awareness of whether you're emotionally safe with the other person, and physically and sensually as well. So yeah, I know a little bit about this person's history, which involves some sensitive areas, I'll say. But anyway, it relates to her and I when we dance, for example, because I'm aware of that. I'm playing with that and aware personally of all that energetic dynamic that's in between. And so, to standardize an embrace, to say you got to hold this way, or you got to be closer, you got it's really limiting and sometimes disrespectful because of the vulnerability that Alla talked about at the beginning. You really have to be sensitive to that and play with that, and that's such a sensitivity that is way different than bodies touching. It's so. I think Cher was talking about too as well that the so much gets communicated, and I mean the music is part of it, and the technique is part of it, but this business of two people really meeting up with each other in such an intimate way is so layered, and it requires such a sensitivity on so many levels, and so much is communicated. It's quite it's overwhelming, really, a lot of times. So anyway, that's it. That's my piece.
Thank you, Aiden. It really, I can, you just opened a door or like a portal to a much deeper layer. I'm doing a class right now on trauma of money. It's called Trauma of Money. And every lesson, I apply that what we're doing about money, I apply that to tango. And it can totally be applied, like what you were just saying about sensitivity and the vulnerability and safety, and all of our history is coming with us to tango. When we meet the other person, there are two worlds meeting, and we can see it in like superficially, and we can see two bodies dancing, or we can see all of our past, like my past, my partner's past, meeting in that tanda for that moment in time. I mean, be it 12 minutes, and how I don't think we think how sensitive this activity is. I mean, I hope I'm saying it in a way that is understandable, but I think a lot of times it's like, oh, let's dance. And what Aiden just shared kind of like opened a whole new, not new, but a way deeper layer. So thank you. Thank you, Aiden.
Can I kick back in? Because I just realized there's another poem in Demetrius's, if you don't mind. Because this just, when you said that, Alla, I was like, oh, it says a tango hug starts before we touch. It starts the moment you notice another person's need to dance. It starts with the moment you set your intention to embrace an imperfect human being. When you decide to give first, when you choose to pray for this person to get what they need, a hug starts when you realize you can't truly touch another person's core unless you are open to exposing your own. It starts days, months, years earlier when you decide to prepare yourself to the best of your abilities to meet another person and give your best imperfect self. A tango hug starts before we touch. And that just brought Silas when he said he comes with his disposition. It's coming from internal. It's an internal peace.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll be quiet.
No, just that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you, Cher. I like it sums up everything just wonderfully. So thank you.
Yeah, well, we are imperfect humans, but that it just sparked it. I was like, oh, this is my new little Bible, this little book, because I'm new to tango. I've only been doing this for a year. And there was a poem that had struck me. He had just written this book, I think it was May of last year, and there was one about, I stepped on your feet and I came with all my aches and my silences, and it was okay for me to be imperfect, was basically what that poem said. And I thought, oh, I need this book. I think it'll help seal what I feel. But I had a similar experience as you, Alla, with one person who was a transient, actually, who had come through to Edmonton. It was an amazing, amazing experience. And I was like, wow, it was one tanda. That's all. Gone, left. But it's magic. And I'm still chasing that magic. I'm sure it'll happen again.
That's what we all left with.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cher. Thank you.
I am admitting Carmela, who was in the last call. So she's going to be with us in 1 second.
Thank you for saying that, Jesus.
Welcome, Carmela.
Hello. I'm in my car. Sorry, but I just come from a tango lesson and I'm in my car. So if you don't mind, I just listen to you.
Yes, it's okay, Carmela.
Is that okay? Thanks.
Yes. Welcome.
Bye.
Welcome. Do you want to mute yourself so we don't hear the car?
Mute myself. Wait. I do that. Where do I do that? On my iPhone.
I can do that. I can do that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm curious now, really curious. Roy, were you taking notes all the time?
I'm just writing things down because it's going in my head because I don't remember things very well.
Do you want to come a little closer to the computer so we can hear you better?
Yeah, go on then.
Yes. Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, it just stuff, thoughts, ideas that are triggered by what's being said. Some of the things I wrote down have then been said by other people. I think the thing for me is I get what. So I'm going to ramble a little bit. I think feel free to stop me in my rambleosity if you like. Because coming back to what we said last time, the topic of this was the embrace, and I was coming in here with the idea of physical structures and how we construct it and and that sort of thing. But what I'm actually hearing and using the phrase that we met up last time is the unicorn hunt, and that's not the embrace. That's a much more holistic thing. And then it's a different. It's related to, but actually, most of the stories that I've heard here aren't talking about how we embrace someone in terms of the physicality of it so much as the experience we're hunting for. The what we are trying to, putting it in performative terms, what we're trying to achieve. And it's like still chasing that feeling. It's tango is the crack cocaine of partner dancing for me, really. It's that deep feeling. But so what I've thought about this in lots of different ways. But I mean, my question, which I'd throw back out, is so okay. Well, we've got this thing that happens. It doesn't happen every time by any means.
Did you cover your mic by any chance somehow? Because now it's muffled.
With your
No?
arm, maybe you are covering the microphone with your arm.
Yeah, a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, maybe.
I was maybe mumbling. I think for me, and I'd throw this back out wider. Are there any other aspects of life or experience where this happens, either singularly or with other people? So there's one thing to feel that frisson, that emotion, that seeing the sunrise and just go, that sense of awe. Yeah. So that'll be one thing for me. And it's not every sunrise. Yeah. So what's my internal state that watching that sunrise? Yeah, it's not a geographic location, although on a nice beach in somewhere exotic where it's nice and warm and fantastic helps. Sometimes with company helps. Sometimes if I'm feeling a particular way helps. So that's my thing. That's my question really. Do people, this thing that we're saying, this experience or series of experiences or sensations that come together into this experience, what other aspects of life do we experience some or all of those components? I'll throw it out as a question. I can say, for me, there are other aspects of life. But what about other people?
I do believe, if I can share my thought, is in many aspects of my life, I'm looking for that. Either in my relationships with my friends or with my partner, either in nature, either in my work. When I fix a problem, I feel the rewarding and it's some kind of blissful experience that I'm good at what I'm doing. But yes, and obviously in tango, I think tango is very particular in the sense that it offers a structure where two people get together. And the possibilities are of finding the magic or the bliss, whatever you want to call it, are probably there because of the energy and the space and the intimacy that we create in the dance. Yeah, of course, in many aspects of life, but also very especially in tango because of the intimacy we experience in our dance. But that's just my take.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And in my brain, I kind of made categories. There are people who can experience awe, and there are people who cannot experience awe. Kind of like it's a personal practice, let's say. If I'm a person who can let beauty in and admire that, then I can. And if I block and, oh yeah, sunrise, oh yeah, whatever, beautiful landscape, or then I'm just not, I don't have the capability. And yet I think that for me, for example, I don't marvel oftentimes in the mountains about like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I'm not that person. For me, it's the experience with people that makes me, that fuels me, that fulfills me, that nourishes me. And tango is, which makes me think that maybe tango is like it's with people. The setting is so clear that we have to come close, and with strangers without knowing each other, hugging each other basically for 12 minutes. It doesn't exist in any other context in life. I would never. Judith has something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe other dances, but not in this way. Like even salsa, bachata, things like that is not the same. So I'm kind of thinking that it's the particularity of a personal predisposition, whether I can allow this, or maybe I don't have the capacity I don't have the capacity to open myself up for that. This is how my brain thinks, but I'm curious about Judith. You were like, show. And Silas? Silas and Judith.
Okay, I think there's something to add, because I think it's also that, like, one thing is quality of touch, and I can train that. So I can train my quality of touching someone by training my fingers. I'm a therapist. I touch people all the time, and there are really like we get homeworks touching an object for 5 minutes a day just to get more sensibility in your fingers, for example. And it does make a difference what kind of intention I have. For example, if you touch someone and you with a treating, yeah. And I'm thinking of my bucket list from today. The person will feel the difference from touching the same person, thinking, I'm glad you are here. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve you. It's a total different feeling. So what the person gets is a huge difference. One is more functional, and the other one is really, I really mean it.
Mm.
And I think this is something, maybe one day I can do it better than another day, depending on my own emotions and everything. But this quality is something I can put from therapy to dance and to other situations in life.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes, yeah.
Jesus, can you help me with the question of Roy? Because I think I understand, but I want to confirm that. What was the question of Roy?
Roy, can you repeat your question?
No, in Spanish, please.
In Spanish. Okay, in Spanish. I think Roy, correct me, Alla, if I'm wrong. What Roy está preguntando, Roy está preguntando si esta deseo de encontrar es el estado de felicidad, de plenitud que buscamos en tango, es también posible encontrarlo en otras facetas de nuestra vida.
Mm, claro, sí. Bueno, creo esto sí lo voy a responder en español. Si quieres me interrumpes para traducir a momentos.
Seguro.
Sí, bueno, las experiencias que nos atraviesan a cada uno personalmente
The
son,
experiences, the experiences that we go through personally.
claro, son muy importantes porque son nuestros puntos de, a veces, de reconocer una emoción, de reconocer un sentimiento, y es importante hacer este análisis interno.
Yeah, our personal experiences are very important because they are the basis of all of our experience, and it's important to pay attention to that.
Por ejemplo, bien, muy concreto en mi experiencia inicial con el tango, y que fue muy fuerte, es que yo comencé en el tango y llevaba un año de haber terminado con una ex.
Yeah, when I started dancing tango, it was a year after I had a breakup with a girlfriend.
Claro. Al principio yo escuchaba iba a clases de tango el primer mes y aprendía el paso, pero no le encontraba mucho sentido.
I was learning tango and learning a step with no much meaning.
Y fue en un momento que comencé a prestar atención a algunas letras.
And when I start paying attention to the lyrics,
Claro, fue cuando me volví adicto básicamente al tango.
that's when I got hooked and got addicted to tango.
Claro, porque expresaban algo que yo tenía muy interno, muy reciente, además.
Of course, because these lyrics, tango lyrics, were reflecting what was very fresh in me after that breakup.
Claro. Entonces, cuando entendí esto y sentí esto, yo ya no solo quería moverme por moverme, yo quería abrazar a la otra persona, y muchas veces me imaginaba incluso que abrazaba a esta chica que extrañé mucho un tiempo.
Yeah,
Entonces,
when I was, when I realized that, when I felt these lyrics and then the emotional part of it, I stopped just moving, just by moving. I wanted to embrace people. And at some point I was imagining that I was still hugging my ex.
¿y por qué digo esto? Porque a diferencia de otros bailes, por ejemplo, por supuesto, sin menospreciar lo lindo y lo divertido que es la salsa recurre normalmente, auditivamente, siempre a lo alegre.
Yeah, unlike other dances like salsa, without demeaning salsa, but salsa always comes with a connotation of being happy, and yeah.
Claro. En cambio, el tango habla de todo, hay de todo, de lo que uno se imagina. Entonces, todos hemos estado felices, espero al menos que todos hayamos sentido felicidad plena en algún momento, que todos hayamos sufrido, porque de sufrir, el sufrimiento es parte de nosotros, digamos, nos ayuda también a avanzar, a encontrarle sentido muchas veces a las cosas.
Yes, we all have experiences of happiness and also suffering.
Claro, entonces sí es importante identificar estas cosas, a eso voy, porque tenemos canciones, orquestas como D'Arienzo, por ejemplo, o una que me gusta mucho a mí es Donato, Edgardo Donato, me encanta, y es que es muy juguetón, es muy alegre, y cuando, a diferencia, por ejemplo, de Tanturi Campos, que yo abrazo con esta idea de apapachar, como hablaba, cuando escucho Donato, yo abrazo como que estoy jugando, por ejemplo.
Yeah, when there are orchestras like D'Arienzo or Donato that invite us to celebrate, to be like happy and yeah.
To play a little bit too.
Yeah, that's a better word, to play.
Claro, entonces, y Gala creo que lo dijo también en algún momento, que, que es importante los old milongueros, they say, wait a minute, someone is want to. Los viejos milongueros en Buenos Aires, y lo dijo Alla, es una relación de 10 minutos con una persona. This is a relationship with someone for 10 minutes, and it's very important to separar. ¿Sí? ¿Cómo
Yeah,
separar?
yeah, we
English.
go into a journey for 12 minutes, and it's important to separate.
Separate, because yeah, my disposition when I dance is to fall in love, but not to fall in love de manera romántica, to a romantic way.
Yeah, it's
I
important.
just love that person in front of me for 10 minutes, and that's it. Maybe sometimes I will love that person a part of the dance, but in that precise moment, I want to love that person in front of me. And when I said, for example, my body reacts to what is in my mind, in my heart, is that all people know what is to protect someone, what is to help someone, and but also we want to be helped, to be protected. And always for me, always for my experience with many students, algunos de ellos están muy tensos al principio, y durante mucho tiempo también están muy tensos porque buscan hacer pasos, por ejemplo.
Many students at the beginning, especially, and for a long time, they are tense.
Claro.
Because
Pero
they're trying to do the correct steps. They're tense because they're focused.
Claro. Pero en mis clases, al menos, en ocasiones cuando regreso a estas cosas, trato de que ellos busquen en sí mismos abrazar a alguien. Es más fácil cuando van con su pareja regular, por ejemplo. No sé si quieres traducir esa parte.
Is easier with students that go with a regular partner?
Sí, pero
you didn't understand. You were just muffled with the regular partner.
And always ellos han podido llegar a la sensación real de abrazar a alguien solo por abrazarlo.
the partner or just generally dance?
Everyone.
They got to a place where they were able to embrace someone just for the sake of the embrace, without having to do the step and do the gancho and do the volea and
Sí. Tal vez me alargué un poco, perdona.
No worries, it's perfect. I have a question. Something I was thinking to ask Alla and Silas, but actually it's a question for everybody. We've been talking about getting to a point where we experience magic, where we experience the bliss. My question is, what? It doesn't happen all the time. We have said that many times. But in my mind, I was thinking that the other day, there are certain conditions that are basic to give the magic a chance to happen. And I would mention a couple that for me are very clear, but you might help me to complete that list. Well, you already said at some point that technique is important. Full disclosure, Roy is my tango teacher, and over the last 2 sessions we had together, we're very focused on the embrace. And I learned a lot, and yes, I realized that technique is fundamental. Yes, to have a proper posture, to have a balance, to walk, you don't need a huge repertoire of big vocabulary, but at least the basics, at least the fundamentals are important. If you want the magic to happen or have a chance, technique is important. But there are other requirements in my mind. And in a way, Silas already said something about it, that I would call it capacity. To arrive in a milonga, to a space with capacity. And what I mean by capacity is as simply as saying personal capacity, psychological, emotional, being able to be there and be yourself, being able to be there and be generous and be open and be present and be grounded. You arrive into a space, not in a collapsed space, because if you arrive collapsed and depressed and depleted, there's no chance for magic, let alone, at least a decent tanda. It's not going to happen. But minimal technical skills and minimal personal capacity that requires preparation and some predisposition, internal predisposition that Silas was mentioning is fundamental. And yes, of course, I'm not going to mention you have to be aware of the tango etiquette, like following the round. I remember one recent conversation with Roy was like, there was a couple that were spoiling my experience because they were also breaking the line of dance. They were getting in the way all the time, blah, 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 blah. So yes, being aware of the tango etiquette and the rules and the respect that we have for each other inside that tango framework that a milonga offers. So basically, for me, if we want the magic to happen, which in many cases is just something we cannot describe, it feels like mystery and a total gift. But at least if we want to give it a chance, we have to have this fundamental requisite, I would say. So is there anything that you think is also necessary to have minimal, a nice tanda. I don't want a nice tanda. I want magic. But is there anything that would give it a more chance to happen? I just put in the question there.
I feel like Judith has something to say.
Who?
Judith looks like no, I just feel sometimes that people are thinking something.
I just thought what Silas was mentioning before is really important, that I really want to embrace this person in front of me with my soul. And for me, for example, it's helpful to dance to a music that I really enjoy. It doesn't happen if I don't like the music. So, because then I might like the person. Yeah, I might like the person, but the energy is not there. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, for me, it's I just had a milonga where the music was terrible, and I danced maybe 3 tandas because I didn't want to dance. Because every time I heard the beginning of the song, I was like, "What's this? Like, no, I don't want to dance this." And the whole energy was just not there. That's on to the topic of the music. And the other part makes me a little bit sad or like pessimistic, because I'm thinking, how many people are there who are doing the inner work and, like Silas said, have the predisposition of like, I want to fall in love with this person. I'm like, I want to hug this person with my soul. I don't know that many people. So it makes me a little bit like, and I want to say that to your question, Jesus, the capacity, I think it also, it's like a catch-22, it's like a vicious cycle. When I don't feel when I don't feel like I have a big capacity, then I feel defensive. Like then I feel closed, because already I'm not, I cannot bring anything to this tanda, to this union, to this whatever, to my partner. I'm already feeling like closed, guarded, defensive. I don't know, you can find different words for it. So it's that I'm talking about myself. So this is like a big thing to be aware of. How am I going into a milonga or a particular tanda? Because even if I can come to a milonga, yay, everything is great, and then during the milonga things can change, and then I don't feel good, and then it's my responsibility to say, maybe it's not a good time for me to dance, to share this energy with someone, unless I'm open about it and it's a friend, and I'm saying to this friend, I'm below 50%. Like, are you open to filling this gap or not,
And maybe then this is the magic.
And maybe this is the magic.
Yeah.
Maybe, hang on, something weird just happened with my machine. But maybe it's, for me, it's a different question. Because there's lots of resonance of the stuff I've been writing down and stuff people's been saying. The one thing that hasn't really come up in a way that's registered with me is coming at it non-judgmentally.
Can you repeat what you say?
Coming into the space and actually trying to find a way of being there non-judgmentally about yourself and about others. And just feeling slightly judgmental about myself and slightly defensive. The thing about the Ronda, although I can be a bit of a Ronda Nazi at times, is if I'm doing this, you know, if I'm searching for this deep, meaningful experience, this loss of self, this oneness, then that requires all of my attention. And all of my attention has to be on, it starts with maybe it's me, you can draw the rings concentrically or in different ways, but the components, from my perspective, are me, the music, or I'll probably go in the order of me, my partner, the music, the Ronda, the space as a whole. And all of these things, this is why it's a unicorn for me. Although, let's say a picture of a unicorn, because unicorns don't exist, but this one does. But finding an intersection where all of those things work, it is quite hard, or quite rare, if you like. But if you can come into that space non-judgmentally, then that's one of the things that helps it for me.
Yeah.
The more I expect it and want it, the more I desire it and crave it, the more I reach for it and grasp for it, the more I push it away. In a kind of meditation-y way, one of the analogies that I've heard and used is, if you imagine a aerobics ball in a swimming pool. If you try and get a hold of it, you'll just keep pushing it away. But if you just swish the water around gently, it'll come to you. Mm-hmm. So in trying to reach for it and trying to grasp for it, you're actually setting up tensions within your mind, and your expectations are limiting the potential outcomes. So I think one of the things that resonates for me and provides hope in that, in amongst all of this, is that what you had said and others have said, there are aspects of this that can be trained. So we can, but we can't train it if we don't know what we're trying to train. And I think a lot of the time we spend thrashing around trying to improve our technique. Well, yeah, okay, but to what purpose? And another word that was used was intention. The intention that you're bringing to this, the intentionality, actually makes a big difference. If you want to be it's fine, it's performative, and it can be fun, but that's you're coming at it with a different intention. But I'll two other analogies, and then I'll shut up for a bit. But one of the things is that we need technique, but we need technique to get the depth of experience. And as a jazz musician, which I'm not, but yeah, a jazz musician will practice skills so that they can then just not think about things and just express what they're feeling through their instrument. Our instrument is our body. So if we want to do, if we want to go down this rabbit hole, and I'm not kind of do, I do, but finding other people that want to go down that rabbit hole and are prepared to put the work in, that's the unicorn for me. Because it's really hard to find a group of people that are prepared to do that. But if you've ever picked up a musical instrument, I'll just say guitar. Just think about the joy you can get just met with one string and making a sound. And then that sound, you just play with it. You make it higher or lower or faster or slower. You hit the strings harder or softer. And that can come in the first 5 minutes, and that's what hooks you. And then you work to become that jazz musician, that rock musician, whatever. But so the first thing in there is that experience, you don't need, 10 years of one-to-one lessons with all the maestros and maestros you can find in order to be able to experience that. You just need to find a way to express your emotions. And the other bit that I haven't heard is listening to the other person, to hear, to make it reciprocal. And that's the bit that really, really does require a shitload of work or luck, is to get that reciprocity. And final thing,
Really short.
really short. Have you ever been to a drumming workshop? I can't drum, but I've been to drumming workshops where we just start making random noises and suddenly the whole group comes together. And that's the same feeling. It's the same connection to what's going on, the part of the whole, and making something, creating something beautiful and coherent out of chaos. So it's doable.
Can I close with another poem? A Magical Unicorn.
1 second. So thank you so much. Thank you, Roy. Yeah, I just want to say that one thing is, I think that technique is like vocabulary, like learning a language. If you know the vocabulary, you can speak. That's what technique is for. And then there are, of course, the personal tonalities and everything that come together to then be able to express yourself. So we have 1 more minute, but if everybody is all right and okay with time, then we might go, we do just for now the closing round, and we might go over, I would say, probably I'm gonna budget more than about 10 minutes, I would say. And I would love to invite everyone, and maybe Carmela as well, if you can share just for like 1 minute, let's say, what you get out or got out of the conversation, and if there is anything you would like wish for would have happened or something, that would be amazing. And 1 minute. I'm not gonna time you guys, but I'm watching. And share if you want to then go last and then close
Sure.
with a poem.
I'll close with the poem.
Awesome.
It's very short.
Awesome. So whoever wants to start.
I've just been speaking, so shut up.
No, but I mean, what are you taking from the conversation? It's
one or two ideas that you are taking away.
I'm taking away that there are people that want to work on this. So, yay.
Yay, for sure.
There's a potential try.
Amen.
Yeah. Beyond that, then we get into the house, and that's another series of conversations.
Thank you. Amazing. Yeah.
I have to let this sink. There are so many different things. I definitely will buy the book because the poems are great. And
Dmitry Baranovsky.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called Hug and Let Go, Poems of Argentine Tango.
Yeah,
by
I
Dmitry Spinowski.
I already
You've
found
already
it.
looked him?
I already looked it up. Yeah, and then for me, the one sentence Silas said, the hug with all your soul, that is really so beautiful, and I'll take this. And yeah, I think what Alla said also is something that that it's important to also figure out if I'm not in the mood, and I might just not dance. Or do the other thing that you mentioned, tell the friend, if it's a friend, I'm only on 50% or 40, and is it okay to share that? Because they won't get what they might expect. So, yeah, which means that we all have to take care of ourselves. Because if we are not good with ourselves, it's not, we can't share what we might be able to share if we are fully present.
Amen to that.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Me gustaría cerrar, recordé a propósito de que hablamos de técnica y de abrazo, he estado, I've been working in a project that I have here in Valparaiso, and for that I really I use this ChatGPT for to clear some ideas and order these things. And at some point, we are talking about technique and embrace with ChatGPT, and for para que sea claro,
to clarify
I
it.
told ChatGPT what is the hack for me, the embrace for me. And I remember this, and I want to share with you. Well, for me, the embrace is everything. It's where everything begins, whether we are dancing socially at the milonga or as a performance. Both words permit the embrace, the technical aspects of physicality and the intangible realm of emotion, the inner disposition and personality of a dancer. To at least now I'm improvising. At least to dance comfortable, we should understand that a functional, comfortable, and expressive embrace requires a balance between technique and emotion. Technique is placed at the service of emotion, not the other way around.
I like that. Yeah. Technique is placed at the service of the emotion.
One thing I personally taken away from this call is how difficult is to speak about magic. We have to use words like unicorn and bliss, and we are just mumbling. We cannot really say what's really happening in a genuine, beautiful embrace. Is beyond words. We approach the topic, but is beyond words in my experience. Yeah.
Silas, what did you say?
There is many ways of magic.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah. Carmela, are you able to speak or not, or just to bring your voice? No, it's okay. All right, we see you. It's good. Thank you. Okay, then shares.
Okay, I'm going to close with the poem. First of all, again, it's just I agree with you where it's the shared connection. Where I say sometimes I say it's like more than words can ever say. It's having that connection. Okay, so the poem I want to read again from Demetrius, and this speaks directly to Alla, your magical unicorn. 100 embraces to find the one. where steps are unnecessary but welcome consequence. Since you already know from the first second that this is it. Freedom in a desired cage, surrendering with all your strength. Opposites not understood, but felt. Where nostalgia touches the heart before the end. Osmosis, home, and silence. 100 embraces to find the one.
Mm.
I'm gonna cry.
Well, you found the one, you lucky girl.
Been 2 years, Cher. It's been 2 years.
Oh, well, it will come again.
I'm sure.
There'll be more.
Yeah, and I already told Silas and Jesus when we were talking that I'm already scared. Then when Silas and I happen to dance together, then it won't be that magic. So I'm already scared about that.
And that could happen.
That could happen.
Mhm. We don't
Accept,
know.
and then everything else is a bonus.
I like the alchemy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Beautiful group.
Thank you for joining. Yes, thank you, Silas, for joining us. And
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
I'm very something that makes me happy is to talk about tango, everything, anything about tango. So this is for me as a treasure for me to share with you this that is so much important to me in my life. So that's it. Thanks a lot.
thank you for joining us. And Roy, I think that this space is born out of the, like what you said, I think the desire that to find other people who are interested and are willing to I don't remember who said it, but you said it exactly. Roy said it, when you do this in the water, and then whatever, the ball or something is going to come to you. Doing this is the personal work, and everybody, like each and everyone, is responsible for that. I'm responsible for my little thingy, and everybody is responsible for their little thingies. So that we do the work, then we're like I said, not everybody is like what Silas said. I don't know people who are saying, I want to fall in love with this person. Can I do so much inner work, and can I be so okay with myself, at peace with myself, that I can open myself to another person? And I think this is what this space is for. So
Nice.
Beautiful. There's a great practice you can do tomorrow, all of you. If you walk down the street, whatever person you meet, just in your brain, you're saying, I love you. I love you. I wish you a nice day. I love you.
Yeah.
And this is a really nice experience. I did it before and it's great. Try it.
There is a Telegram channel that we created. If you feel like joining the group, we can continue the conversations there. It's on the website. There is a little button.
Also,
Okay.
also on the website, you're gonna find the next session is on the 25th of April. We haven't defined the topic, but we will let you know at some point.
It feels like we start with something and then the conversation just dives in, and it's beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Wonderful day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are, and hope to see you we hope to see you soon next time. Lots of love.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Thing. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, Roy.